compliment. There she is. The Dollarita is back. Hey, folks. Well, affordability. Okay. We hear your cries for affordability, and we answer with Applebee's Dollarita, and it's back. $1 margarita. And for $1, you can get 2,000 calories in a glass. Hi, folks. Welcome to Hot Mics. It's Billy Bush and Big Steve Harding. We call him Big Steve because he's a very big guy. We love him. Please hit subscribe, like, notification bell, all those fun things. It is a hump day, a hump day here in America, where the World Cup is taking things by storm. I can't wait to get into this. I'm so obsessed with it. It's got my attention. My heart is open to the world. God, is it great. But let's say hello to our friends. There's Christina saying hello to Steve and myself. Hello. Hello, Joy. Joy. Hi, Joy. Oh, that's Amanda saying hello to Joy. But I assume us too. Oh, Billy Bush, our old studio. I love it. I know, Joy. It's kind of cute, right? Being in here, these humble beginnings. A lot of people say we're going to come back. I don't know. We'll see how negotiations go. Hi, everybody. Yeah, there's Enid. Yep. Billy, Steve, Joy. Hi, guy. The Billy, Steve, and Joy show. No kidding. It's the Joy show featuring Billy and Steve. That's what we're calling it. Hey, love. There's Amanda saying hello again. There's Miguel with a little clap high, my daughter would say, clock it. She does this thing. She says, this is her thing. Hi, guys. Hi, Karen. How are you, baby? All right. Let's, can I just say I played golf yesterday with my man crush? Think about the one person, I guess there's a handful of people, but think about someone you would really like to go and play mahjong with, or golf, or go on a hike with. Like, who's a personal hero? Somebody who's affected your life in a positive way. I played golf with that man yesterday. I don't want to overly do it here and man crush all over the guy, because he's actually a very simple, nice. In fact, he's everything I guarantee you would expect him to be. Let me ask you this. If you were to meet me, do you get a feeling like you would, the same person that communicates with you here is the same person you would meet? I hope so. I absolutely knew exactly what kind of guy this guy would be. And if anything, he only improved upon it because he's so normal and self-effacing, warm, easy conversation. He is the quarterback, legendary quarterback of the New York Giants, who led my football team to 2 Super Bowls. I went to both of those Super Bowls. I witnessed it happen. I witnessed the miracle in Arizona when David Tyree caught that ball on his helmet, and then he finished it off to Plexico Burress in the end zone. Steve's a Patriots fan, so he's from Boston, Lynn, City of Sin over here. This is Steve, I got to tell you.
You forgot I was here. I'm dying right now.
Eli Manning, at least know that the one guy, by the way, no one feels sorry for the fucking Patriots, my friend. How many Super Bowls? 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady, you guys, okay, so the one little thing, it's like, I'm the most handsome person in the world, except I have a mole here. You're the Enrique Iglesias. You're the Enrique Iglesias of football teams. Absolute perfection. One little mole. Our caddy was this guy named MJ. You would hate this, Steve. He has no football team. He's like, Eli, I wanted to be here because I don't have a favorite NFL team. I only have one unfavorite NFL team. He's a guy, he's a reverse fan. He doesn't root for his team. He roots against only one team, and it's the Patriots. So Eli Manning is his hero for negative purposes. It's incredible.
By the way, this picture, Billy, something's different about you in this picture. What's going on with this picture?
I'm short. I'm a little chubby and my gut is a little bit needs to be in check. Eli is 6'5" and in as good a shape as he was playing football.
It's Eli's height.
And the guy on the right is the man who put the date together, one of my great friends, the legendary Skip Bronson. I say he built Vegas. Skip Bronson built Vegas with Steve Wynn. He was the vice chairman of Steve Wynn's company. And now he's a hotelier and a real estate guy and a terrific, terrific man. But Eli Manning is, I got a fat man crush on the guy. I was subtle, I was subtle. We connected on many things. We're both, I played hockey growing up at some of these. He's a hockey dad. His daughter plays hockey. I lived in Jersey. He lives out there in Jersey, still close to Giant Stadium. He's just a normal guy and a decent golfer. And I beat him on the golf course. And by the way, a fast pay. We played for a caddy bet. And he and Skip lost to me and my friend John Hayes. And so Eli paid the caddies. But what a wad of cash in his pocket. Ooh.
I want to ask about
strong.
Eli. I think this is interesting because I think Peyton was kind of like the world all the years while they were quarterbacking. And he's funny and he does all the commercials. But as much as he's a Giants, I feel like Eli has sneakily kind of raised up and is kind of like people like Eli now, maybe more than Peyton.
No. There's no more. They're the two of them.
But he's not under Peyton. Like I feel like he's over the years warmed up to people more. No,
and he's always been funny. I think Eli's performance on Saturday Night Live was sneaky as funny, if not funnier than Peyton. But Peyton is, he's beloved. But Eli, I don't know if people. Eli was in town doing a Toyota commercial. He does Jersey Mike's commercials. The guy, he has no short. And Eli spends no time thinking about that. He just loves his brother. Some of the golf trip stories between the two of them, hysterical. He told me about, Peyton is super anal. If they go on a golf trip, he'll be like, Eli, be at the airport at this exact time. Make sure you pack a sweater and you're going to need extra socks because of the thing that we tee off at 9:30 and he puts these long emails together of everything you have to do. And Eli's like, I'm not your 7-year-old little brother. I understand how to travel. I know what I need in my golf bag. Hysterical stories. But
this is why they love the man. Everyone loves the Mannings. So they're just like this, right? I mean, they're just.
But the gift that Eli gave me is I'm always tinkering with alcohol, as you know, right? I love a cocktail. I don't want to drink too much. I'm getting older. It's, you got to manage all of it. It's probably a dance we're all doing. Eli's, by the way, Eli, no, he's like, I'm an SEC guy. Okay. We don't drink NA beers. We drink regular beers. But at the golf club, they have a bunch of taps. One in the number 2 tap. They each have numbers. The number 2 tap is the Dodger Blonde Golden Ale. Okay. Beautiful beer. The number 5 tap is the non-alcoholic beer. Okay. Not going to say the name of the company because I'm holding out for a great sponsorship for this. Okay. But I said, let's try a combination. So I pull the tap on number 2 halfway number 2, and then halfway in the NA one, the other half, a 5. So it's a combination 3.5. So I started saying, give me a 3.5, half 2, half 5.
This is going to be a real thing. I can see this already.
Eli one-ups it. He goes, what are you drinking? I said, I'm drinking a 3.5. It's a half and half. Half non-alcoholic. He goes, what? So this is your version of the Arnold Palmer. And I say, yeah, the half and half. He goes, why don't you call it the Billy Baru? Oh, is that brilliant?
Wait, that's really good.
That's brilliant.
No, it's really good.
It's a brew. And
Billy
if
Baru.
you've seen Caddyshack, the old wooden, oh my God. This is it. This is my logo for the Billy Baru, half booze, half NA, and you get the right blend. Oh, Billy. The Billy Baru. So he gave me that gift and made it worth it. So Thanks, pal. Thanks for that. Let's play soon. World Cup fever. Do you have it? I have it. I have it, and I am having a hard time being cured of it. I don't want to be cured. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more soccer. I got to say it. Last night, I watched DR Congo versus Colombia. A bullshit win, by the way. I'm going to say it. This is unpopular. Sorry, Colombian soccer fans. Your dude, whoever his name is, set a pick, like in basketball, an illegal pick, and held back the defender with both hands and then fell forward as if he was pushed. Held back the defender, freeing up Munoz to bury the one goal. So I think actually it should have been a tie. And by the way, I mean, the Colombian government probably would have thrown every one of these guys in jail had they lost to the DR Congo. But anyway, they eked out a win. I was all over that.
Billy, I see here Miami is full of Scottish. Miami has no idea what's coming their way. They've worked their way through Boston. Now they're headed to Miami.
Well, something tells me they don't have as much beer in Miami as they do in Boston. And the Scottish Tartan Army destroyed Boston, drained every little last drop of beer out of the city. They're down in Miami. They're going to have to drink capareñas and margaritas. And I don't know that there's going to be enough beer. Maybe Miami was ready for it and prepared for it. But the Scots are down there going crazy.
Wait till they have the caparita. Imagine these Scotsmen trying all these drinks. Oh, like,
oh my God. What is this? Oh, I like this too. And they get drunker faster. At least beer takes more time. USA versus Turkey is tomorrow night. This is interesting. Do we rest our players or not?
oh boy, Billy, this is a huge thing.
This is a big story. So we've got 4 yellow cards for 4 of our starters. If you get a yellow card in the next game, which would be Turkey tomorrow night, if one of these guys gets a second yellow card, that means it's a red card and they have to sit out the next game, which would be the first game of the next round. So not good. Do you sit them out? Or I tend to be a person that believes you kind of know, like when you're behaving in a way that's going to get you a yellow card. So I would be fine playing my players and just tell them, hey, this is just for, don't be an asshole because you're going to be out. So maybe play them only a half. My recommendation is 1 half with the starters, those 4, then pull them out and put your bench in there because even if we lose, we still finish our bracket number 1. I don't like the idea of resting 4 of your starters, though, entirely. I don't like that. You got to get them in competition, in the game. Let them, feel that they're not playing every other night. So you got to let them, feel the competitive juices. Now, turning to maybe the biggest star on the pitch, certainly one of the top 3, Lionel Messi from Argentina. 5 goals in 2 games. Tops everybody so far. He has 18 World Cup goals total in his career. But the French captain, Kylian Mbappe, 4 goals so far, right behind Messi. He's got 16, just 2 behind Messi in overall career. But Messi turns 39 years old today, and Mbappe, who you're looking at, is only 27 years old. This is how I felt about LeBron James when LeBron James was like 18 or 21 early in the league. He looked like he was 40. He always had the bald kind of power alleys. Messi is 39. Look at the body on this guy. Look at the chin-ups he is doing. He is a total machine. He is a gifted player. And Mbappe looks older than him. And then, okay, also tied with 4 goals. Tied for second in World Cup total so far, the Viking. There he is, the Viking, Erling Haaland. Look at the body on this guy. He's an absolute moose. He's got 4 goals. As for the USA, Balogun, Folarin Balogun is our guy. He's got 2, but when I think about Balogun, this is an interesting thing. kind of a sidebar here, but I think worth mentioning. We're getting to the end of the Supreme Court session right now. They've got a bunch of major decisions on shit Donald Trump is pushing that are either going to go Trump's way or not. One of them is birthright citizenship, meaning a Chinese woman can't, if Trump has his way, right, a Chinese woman can't go on vacation in Hawaii, have a baby in Hawaii, and immediately, because she was touring there when the baby was born, that baby is American. That baby is automatically a citizen. I understand both sides of this argument. It is as old as time and embedded into the Constitution, so it's going to be hard to turn around. But it's the exact story of Zohran Balogun, who is our leading forward on Team USA. The guy's mother was extremely pregnant in July of 2003, I believe it is. And the airline told her, you can't get on this plane. You're too pregnant. You can't go back to London where you live. You have to, it's too much of a risk. You could give birth. And so she stayed. And days later, whatever it was, she gave birth in Brooklyn, New York to Zohran Balogun, who because of that, is an American citizen. And because he's an American citizen or birthright citizen, he is delivering for Team USA in a way that's got the whole country excited. Trump, all I can say is you got bad timing here. Very bad timing. Okay. Speaking of Messi, Lionel Messi and his Lionel. He turns 39 today. Here's some trivia for you. Play along at home. Messi has 508 Instagram followers, and that makes him number 2. Excuse me. Obviously, that's million. 508. Messi has 508 million Instagram followers. He's number 2 globally. Number 3 is Selena Gomez with 405 million Instagram followers. Who is number 1? Would it be a starlet, a celebrity like Selena Gomez, or possibly another footballer who might, some people say, slightly more handsome than Messi, who's very, very handsome? Is it Jennifer Aniston? No. Jennifer Aniston recently joined Instagram, I think like 5 years ago or something. Very late to the party. Who's going to get it first? Number 1. And don't use ChatGPT, Joy. Don't do it. There it is. Ronaldo, 667 million followers. So if he says, hey, everybody, it's Ronaldo. Go buy a granola bar from Nature Valley. How many people say, okay, he told me to do that? Even if it's 1% of people, right? So it must cost so much money to get him to do anything on the social media, but he's the number 1 most followed person in the world. And he's 41 years old. Messi's 39 years old. These guys they're like the Tom Brady of world football. They just take care of their bodies and they keep going. I don't know if Mbappe's he needs to take care of his skin. He looks like an older gentleman to me.
Yeah. By the way, Ronaldo is older than all of them. He looks younger than all of them to me. So he's kept up well. And by the way, his goal scores, this puts him, he's the only person to ever score goals at 6 World Cups. That's kind of insane. Messi,
really?
Yeah, Messi may not even do that. I mean, that means Messi has to come back again at what, 43?
Holy mackerel. That's big time.
But I do wonder about their Instagrams, where they were before this World Cup. Like, did everybody just jump on right now?
I think they were probably up there. I mean, I don't think the world is waking up to Messi or Ronaldo. You're right. I wonder how many Mbappe has. He's got to have a bunch. I mean, football is the dominant sport of the world. Mbappe must have some too. Well, Speaking of, look, there's a lot of things going on in America right now. If you watched what happened in New York last night or read about it this morning, Zohran Mamdani is the most politically influential person in America. That is facts. It's not a compliment. It's a fact. He has more influence than Donald Trump at this point. He is the left-wing Donald Trump. I think they have more similarities than they have differences. I'm not kidding. What he engineered or is engineering is a hostile takeover of the Democrat Party by people who want to abolish prisons. They want to abolish billionaires and U.S. aid to Israel. It's these local elections are rooted in pro-Palestinian vibes and anti-Israel vibes, probably even more. But he is the most powerful man in U.S. politics, Zohran Mamdani. If you don't like it, stop thinking, your tweets or your posts from your couch are doing anything. You got to get off your couch because the ground game of the Democrat Socialists of America is real. And the turnout is low. Okay? Nobody shows up. And they know it. So they mobilize and they take advantage of it. The turnout is embarrassing. 10% of registered Democrat voters in New York, that's 1 out of every 10 registered Democrats voted. That's not a mandate. That is apathy leading to a land grab. They know you're not going to show up, and so they turn out the people who they know are going to. Everybody sits back on their ass and waits for the general election. And they act totally surprised or faux outraged when they're handed a candidate they can't connect with. It's because you sat on your ass and didn't partake and you didn't even know what was going on. So Mamdani endorsed 3 candidates running for Congress. Trump does one at a time. He picks campaigns in parts of the country, selects his MAGA guy, says Thomas Massey, congressman from Kentucky, I don't like you and your demanding of the Epstein files. And he turns out a candidate, and that guy gets rid of Massey because MAGA is small, but they mobilize. So they get rid of Thomas Massey. And now you get, this guy that's, totally adherent and loyal to Donald Trump. Same thing going on here with Mamdani. You've got 3 DSA endorsed candidates, and they all won. But Mamdani does a slate. Like I said, Trump goes one at a time. He did a slate, 3 for 3. And Hakeem Jeffries, who is from this exact area, Brooklyn, where he is the Speaker of the House, he said after Zohran Mamdani won his primary last June, if you're going to come after my incumbent Democrats, then come after me. Well, he went after your incumbent Democrats and beat the shit out of every one of them, Hakeem. So he might come after you, and you should be nervous because the guy is effective. I'm not saying, look, I don't want to rail on anybody, but if you care, and you don't want socialism, you better wake up because it is absolutely here and it is absolutely winning. And in New York last night, wow. So in Congressional District 10, Brad Lander, which is like parts Brooklyn, parts Manhattan, Brad Lander, this is crazy. He thumped the incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman, 65-35. Here's what's interesting. Both are Jewish, okay? Mamdani, just recently called AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Alliance Caucus group, He called it monsters, right? We know how he feels. He's very pro-Palestine. He's very anti-Netanyahu. He's said if Netanyahu came to New York, he would be arrested instantly. This guy, Brad Lander, is Mamdani's answer to the criticism of anti-Semitism. He's like, anti-Semitism? I eat a bagel every morning for breakfast. And look, this is the candidate that I endorsed, Brad Lander. Brad Lander, I would equate him to like a Tim Scott. You know what I mean? Like, there's many people in the African American community who are like, how can you, as a black person, support Donald Trump? How can you do it, Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina? How could you do that? It's you're a traitor. This would be Brad Lander, a Jewish guy getting behind Mamdani, who has made it very clear he's anti-Israel across the board. Is he just anti-Netanyahu, anti-government, right? Anti-Zionist? Or is he, right, actually underneath it all, a wolf in sheep's clothing and actually hates Jewish people? You're going to have to decide that. You know, I hate to believe that about anybody. I really do. It makes me sick. Now, there's Brad Lander. Now let's go to the two slam dunks. Congressional District 7, which is like parts of Queens and Brooklyn. Claire Valdez. She beats Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. She is a free Palestine woman. She has a Columbia education, so she's liberal, elite educated. She is everything is free Palestine for her, all over her campaign posters. She is a massive anti-Israel activist. She's the one who got Mahmoud Khalil. Remember Mahmoud Khalil? He's the guy that ran the Columbia University encampments. Remember when they refused to leave? This was a while ago, a couple of years ago. He led the Palestinian protests at Columbia University. A spokesman for the encampment. He was thrown in jail. He spoke at her launch event. There's Claire Valdez. She won handily. Then you got Congressional District 13. That's Upper Manhattan and the Bronx. Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, a Columbia grad as well, elite credentials, but calls herself working class. This is the move here. She beat 5-term incumbent Adriano Espaillat, who endorsed Zohran Mamdani after his primary win over Cuomo. So Mamdani turned and said, thanks for the endorsement. It was a little late. It was only in the general when you knew I would win. I'm screwing you over. I'm going to put in this woman. There she is. There she is. Daria Liza Avila Chevalier beat the shit out of a 5-term incumbent. Geez, if you don't see what's happening here, and I'm saying, you decide. If you're going to sit on your couch and be one of the 90% who don't show up to vote, 90%, and this is what you got. So what was Avila's history here? Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, a Zohran Mamdani campaign volunteer, okay, with a long record of inflammatory tweets against Israel. She refuses to condemn Hamas. She participates in, she was at a post-October 7th pro-Hamas rally. Has no experience. That's fine. You can have no experience and come in and, run for office and win. That's America. But Claire and Daria Liza, two of them here, are emblematic of this new breed of radical socialist candidates. Elite credentials, right? Columbia educated, call yourself working class, woman of color, which appeals to Democrat Socialists of America's overwhelmingly white, urban, well-credentialed, but downwardly mobile base. Now think about this. White, downwardly mobile. I mean, a lot of, friends of mine, their kids feel like I've told you, my kids feel like it's too expensive. I can't afford to live in LA. I have to help, my daughter pay for her apartment. She can't live there. I was talking to Steve earlier. His mom, was a teacher, like making 20 grand a year. And she could she could live in a house. That was our old America. New America, you can't. There is a vast and getting vaster gap between the haves and the have-nots. And these people know it. And they know people are apathetic and aren't really going to turn out in major numbers. So they prey upon it and they win. And they're growing in influence. And it's not just these congressional races. You want to see something wild? Hey, it's America. As much as these people crow about how awful America is, how, capitalism has ruined us, rotted us from the inside, how, that white supremacy abounds everywhere. Meet Aber Kawas, Palestinian American activist. Of course, there she is. She wins the New York State Senate District 12. So she is now going to Albany as a state senator. She is supported by the DSA. There's Mamdani endorsing her. She blamed September 11th, the terrorist attacks, on capitalism, racism, and white supremacy, blah, 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 blah. You get the speech. Just telling you, she is a woman who said the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy and Islamophobia have all been used to colonize lands. There's another one of those words, colonizers. The New York Democrat Socialist chapter said Palestine was on the ballot. And now a Palestinian American Democrat Socialist is going to Albany. Kawas is exactly who New Yorkers need fighting for them in the state Senate because socialists get it done. Wow. Now, I can't disagree with the last part. They do get it done. And no one else does because people are sitting on their asses, wondering who's going to be, the Republican and who's going to be the Democrat that we choose every November. The work is being done before November. And if you're not going to pay attention to it and you're not going to get involved, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I said it. Mamdani is, and by the way, it's not just happening in New York. Please. Other leftists who have recently won elections, and I'm not a rightist here, okay? I'm a centrist. But I get to decide, I'd like to decide which kind of way we're leaning and what we actually believe in. But, Robert Lavertus Bell, elected in May to Kentucky's state house, super leftist, Bobby Nichols in Tempe City Council in Arizona, and Seattle. Seattle, of course, a blue city, elected a self-proclaimed socialist, Katie Wilson. And, of course, you've paid attention to Nithya Raman here in Los Angeles. So New York, like they like to say, New York sets the tone, but it just happened 2 weeks prior in Los Angeles, where Nithya Raman, a Democrat socialist, came from nowhere. Again, like these other women, Claire Valdez and whatever her name, Daria Lisa Chevalier. Unheard of people that come from an extremely well-organized, mobilized, NGO-fueled Democrat Socialist Party. It's happening everywhere. So I say it. Mamdani is the left-wing Trump, right? He demands allyship and loyalty on his terms, endorsing candidates of his choosing, wielding influence like a hammer, making enemies in the process, for sure. But again, Zohran Mamdani endorsed a slate, a team of people, and they all won, right? Trump is chump change. He's doing one-offs. So Zohran Mamdani's communications director on a bar was asked if the mayor would be working to rebuild bridges within his party, most importantly with Hakeem Jeffries, after the primary fights where he unseated his party's incumbents, or would people now have to come to him, the kingmaker, and kiss his ring? Her response was a smiley face. And Mamdani's got ego, big ego. Even posting Jalen Brunson's speech to the team at the New York City Knicks parade after they won the championship, basically co-opting Brunson's words as his own.
People that have a lot of negative stuff to say. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. But when you prove them wrong, you really don't have to say shit to them.
Mamdani's a big Knicks fan. He's out, spinning records with his Knicks jersey on, with his suit jacket on top. He's got vibes. Sorry, here's something personal. Mamdani went to Bowdoin College in Maine. Okay? I went to Colby College in Maine. They are arch rival schools. Mamdani's a Bowdoin guy. Can I just say this? Are there any Colby people out there who are Democrats, socialists? If so, you're never seeing another donation again. I was going to build you a library, but now I'm not going to do it. Also, I don't have the money. But, look, by the way, I wonder how Brunson feels about that. Is he a Mamdani guy? Is he part of this movement? Because like when Trump would play Born in the USA at one of his rallies, Springsteen would go crazy. I wonder how Brunson feels about having his words taken, co-opted. But let's be clear. If, in fact, the core, this is like where we get into this whole politically correct, what can I say, what can I not say thing. If the core of opposition to Zohran Mamdani is really at the roots anti-Muslim, like Muslim infiltration into the largest city in America and Muslim influence like you see in the UK going on, or London, now happening in New York and in the city, I'm not so sure you can afford to be silent about it and tiptoe around it. We are trained in America, thanks to the left and cancel culture, that outspokenness like this results in cancellation. You got to get past that. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is if you have a hard, if you can't say a massive, Islamic infiltration into our government and into our major cities where they're now running things, if you can't say that that's a problem for you, or you don't feel because you're worried about being called a racist or whatever these people are willing to call you instantly, just use it. Just use what's in the scripture. Just grab the scripture and listen to, anti-Western, anti-capitalist, anti-American sentiment and go on that. Whatever you want to go on, if you think it's a problem, hey, don't be bullied. Question is Zohran Mamdani evil? Does he, underneath it all, have good intentions, right? He makes these videos and says, I get my bagels from my Jewish deli. I like my bagels in New York. I'm pro-Jewish. I'm just anti-Israeli government. I'm Israeli foreign policy. But really, I like Jewish people. I'm not an anti-Semite. He says that. He's a very charismatic, magnetic guy. Hats off to that. So do you believe him? Or do you believe, power's intoxicating? We've seen it throughout time. You have good intentions, but then you gain all this power. Where do you go from there? Does it keep going? Is he essentially a wolf in sheep's clothing? Or, good intentions? I got to say, everybody has to decide. And and you could you could just vote straight down the line on policy. I'm afraid that all the wealthy employers in New York are going to leave. They're going to leave, and then your cities are going to rot from within. I don't know. Where is moderation? Where is center-right candidates, center-left candidates? If most people, still the majority in America, are those people who are radical centrists or just believe in decency and like good, how do you get a voice? How do you get people to turn out for normal? Come on, normal. That's campaigns and movements are not built on normal. They're built on defining characteristics that you can grab onto. So somehow moderation and normal has to become a passion in order to stand a chance. So there you go. Enough on that. You see what's going on in San Francisco? This is a shit show if I've ever seen one. There's an uproar in San Francisco for something that happened on June 12th. San Francisco, keep in mind, is 16% LGBTQ+. The San Francisco Giants had Pride Night at the baseball park on June 12th. Most players wearing caps that had the team's iconic interlocking SF turned into rainbow colors instead of the traditional, orange and black. 3 Giants pitchers that night, Landon Raup, and 2 relievers, JT Brubaker and Ryan Walker, scrawled a Bible verse on the side of their hat, one that opponents of gay rights use all the time as a rallying call. It's Genesis 9:12 through 16. Major League Baseball, like attempting to triangulate here, took a stand on the actual words, not the meaning. Basically, they took a stand on defacing the logo and the uniform over, what was actually said in there. So Major League Baseball says, by warning the Giants players that they may not include Bible verses on their caps in the future, MLB was not discriminating or chastising those players based on their religious beliefs. Rather, MLB was enforcing, with an oral warning here, a long-standing, collectively bargained rule that keeps uniforms clean and avoids controversy. So they're saying, it doesn't matter what they put on the side. You have to wear, basketball players wear their own sneakers. They're all their own colors. I mean, I don't know. There's always expression. And apparently in baseball, you can't do that. Poor communications by the team before that night, I will say, because I don't know if they made enough of an emphasis on it, but players had the option of wearing just their regular uniforms. The team didn't say, you have to wear the rainbow hat. I think some players were afraid because of exactly what I mentioned before, that we live in a culture where somebody's going to come and cancel you. These baseball players are like, shit, it's gay night, Pride Night here at the park, and we've got, 16% of the population, and the gay people are coming out to the baseball game. And here, hey, look, I'm cool. Don't come after me. And 3 pitchers were like, I ain't cool. They just invited. What I would say is, we went through this back in the day. I remember there was nights when I was at Access Hollywood, there was a certain day where we were told to wear purple. LGBTQ plus supporting purple. And you'd wear a purple tie or a purple handkerchief, and everybody like, oh my God, all the talent at NBC were like, yeah, okay, cool, we're cool. I'm going to say, I didn't make a fuss. I didn't go and say, and I'm not anti-LGBTQ plus. I'm just not a spokesman for them, and I'm not going to stand on television wearing a purple tie or a purple handkerchief, so I didn't wear one. Maybe 1 year I did. You could look it up. I don't know. When I was new, but I know in the end I didn't. I just was like, no, you don't get to. There's some heavy-handedness to it, right? It's very passive aggressive. And so I said, no, I didn't do it. And here's a guy who's furious in San Francisco that Buster Posey, legendary catcher, kept giving press conferences and saying, I'm only answering baseball questions. I'm only answering baseball questions, not trying to further, right? They want to get comment from him. He would not give comment from them because people like this are going to go crazy.
It was shocking. You know, like I never would have expected that from this team. And once it did happen, I would have expected a reaction. And the fact that neither of those things are happening is just, I feel like I don't even know this team anymore. I haven't missed an opening day except for COVID year. You know, like I every Star Wars Day, every fan fest,
I got love for that guy.
appreciation.
I got love for that
You know, like,
guy. He fits into my sphere of. I love everybody. I'm a warm fella like that. But if he's going to the ballpark expecting his players to be like, I support you and your political message or the way you live your life or whatever, it's a fucking baseball game. Okay, no, and I feel the same for if it's a charged environment and people stay out of it, play your baseball game. You don't need to, right? Breast cancer is something that can unite everybody because it affects everyone. It does not reveal, political ideology. So there you go. Pink cleats in the NFL in October. Put them on, boys. Every one of you was birthed by a woman, okay? And women are susceptible more than men to breast cancer. We can support that across the board. And if I'm the NFL, I say, mandatory. I'm okay with that. Is there anyone that says, yeah, I'm pro breast cancer, so I'm not going to do it? I don't think so. Anyway, these are the defining moments of our time. Now, can we just, because we're back in the little cave here and it's just us, if I'm going to build this podcast and this community, Hot Mics here, and I want to make money, it's going to cost me a lot of money, to be honest with you and tell you how I feel. Advertisers, sponsors are terrified of politics. Procter and Gamble, Coke, all these, they just, what I would say is the large corporate brands and sponsors are going to suffer if they don't return to a radical centrism in America. Your entire business is going to crumble. It's going to kill you. So capitulating to this stuff is a mistake. Look at Bud Light. Look what happened to Bud Light. Bud Light was the number one beer in the world. They made billions and billions and billions of dollars of mistakes by getting political. Now, most brands just don't want to get political at all. They're not saying we embrace LGBTQ, we support, but they just want nothing to do with it. So just give me a story about Lindsay Lohan's new movie and we'll give you lots of advertising dollars. The problem is that rots me from the core. I can't do it. I did it for many years. I won't do it. But I think radical centrism can be done with, how do I say this? Benign but powerful opinion. I don't know. The truth doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be alienating. It doesn't have to, single out groups because of this, because of their sex or their color or their anything like that. The people who have preached that shit to us need to sit down and shut up. that identity politics, that, that you're this because you're this color, you're that because you're that shit's got to go. How do we do this? I'm taking the long road, okay? I'm not going to just go for maximum dollars. It isn't about that for me. Thank heavens I've saved a couple, but not enough to run the whole the distance. So I'm going to have to, take the long game to build a big community of people. I'm banking on the radical centrists out there. The people who, if it's freaking 10% that show up, maybe next time it's 15% or more people show up. I'm banking on the radical centrists like me. The people who want to, and the signs aren't good. My brother came in third place in the Republican primary in Maine because the MAGA guy, the far right guy, the MAGA dude who's still kissing Trump's ass, he wins. Little Jack Kennedy in New York running for Congress, by the way, as we were talking about New York and its primaries, little Jack Schlossberg came in third place. Not even second. Wiped out. The left center Kennedys, the right center Bushes. Done. No. I think there's great affection, not for the two families, but the two ideologies. Left center, Bill Clinton. Right center, W, Reagan, whoever else. That is coming back. It may not be in the immediate future. The Democrat socialist machine thing, the far left, which was an answer to the far right. And by the way, while I'm on my damn soapbox, this is right in Trump's wheelhouse. He loves what's happening because he only goes up the more the far left goes up. And now they're going up. The only person they're going, but they were born because of you, sir. Because of you, it gave rise to that. Because the middle people, the Hakeems of the world and, the party establishment weren't getting it done. So as MAGA is the answer to Republican establishment politics, they want, MAGA is the middle finger to the establishment on the right. The DSA is the middle finger to the establishment on the left. And here goes America. Two different Americas are emerging. We are going to be two different countries. Fine. So I'll go live in one country. Not fine for my kids. Not fine for my grandkids. Not fine for the future of America. How do we find a way to we have to decide what our values are and lay them out on the table. And don't be afraid. Because the people that are super loud on the fringes of our political spectrum are going to call you a racist, a white supremacist. They're going to call you all kinds of names that, oh no. And maybe your employer is going to be like, I'm scared. Let's just fire them. Give them a severance. Here, you're gone. The pussification of America, let's call it that. So you got to lay your values on the line. And mine are right there, CW375 in the comment section. Billy keeps spreading the good centrist common sense word. Long game here is right. Yeah. That's it, buddy. I mean, I think I've said it. I think you know how I feel. And it's so funny. I'm going to go shower after this. And I'm going to go meet with a branding company. And hope to God they weren't listening this morning.
That's what I was just going to say.
And if they were,
hopefully they were busy this morning.
And if they were, guess what? You're not going to have any brands if you don't grab that middle again. And guess what? Why the middle hasn't worked? Because the middle, by definition, is uninteresting. It's unmotivating. It's unpassionate. You got to make it passionate. Okay? I can't stand MAGA and I can't stand the DSA. There you go. You're all lunatics. Grab back the middle, my loves. Grab back the middle. Am I running? Am I going to run one day, Steve? I think so.
I think you are.
I don't think I have a choice.
I think we're ramping.
I don't have a choice.
The lead up.
I'm going to announce by saying I don't want to be here. I'm reluctant, but I have to be. And then I will pound on whoever I have to. But Jesus. Oh, God. Let's finish with this. Let's finish with the some news, okay? Where do you want to start? First of all, summer plans. Going to keep going from Maine. I'll be in Maine, and I'm going to keep going. Maybe not 4 days a week. Got mom up there. Might go to a summer schedule. Thinking maybe 2 days a week. So there'll be a little less hot mics. But when we come back from Maine, I'm still going to do it. Still going to book interviews, and we'll be active. But maybe not as active because, Steve and I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and we pull our stuff together and we work hard for 3.5 hours before we go on. My mom is 87. She's active still. I want to play golf with her. I want to go sailing with her. I want to, be around just to, when she calls my name, to be able to say, yeah, right here. Not Mom, I'm working in here. Please stop walking in. So life, right? I think I've earned it at 54. My mom's earned it at 87. But I'm still going to be around. I think it's probably going to be like a Monday, Wednesday thing, or maybe even 3 days a week. I don't know. We'll see what it is. It's not going to be organized. It's just going to be probably random, but we'll definitely be together. The other thing, and then when we come back, there is a relaunch of Hot Mics. We've done a deal with a company that we got big enough to be noticed. And so we're going to have a sales operation and a team behind us in a major way. So I'll tell you more about that, but that's going to be a big relaunch. It's very exciting. And I'm super psyched about it because it means we're real. And we've worked so hard. Now, the final thing. Steve is going to a new gig. If you remember the beginning of Hot Mics, we had a guy named Rob Silverstein, who was our old executive producer at Access Hollywood. Rob is starting a new sports syndication show. Rob loves sports. Steve loves sports. He's a Boston Patriots, guy. And syndicated television, no two guys know more about it than Steve and Rob. And so they're going to go do this show. And I'll tell you this, Steve is, oh God, people are losing it. Yeah, Jackie, he's going on tour with his drums. No. What is happening, says Deanne. What is happening? What? Steve is leaving, says Joe the Cat Sarnia. So you're trying to sneak in the news that both of you are leaving us. No. I'm not. I am Hot Mics. But Steve, who built it with me, is going to do this incredible show. Steve is always in the Hot Mics family. He will be popping in. He knows the link. Steve built all the systems that we have going on here so he can pop in at any time. He's in the family. There's no question. He's in the Hall of Fame. Well, we're gonna build a bust to Steve. Like a bronze bust. Steve, there he is.
I get emotional.
Joe, Steve is a crier. I love it. I mean, you put him in front of a United Negro College Fund commercial, forget about it. He's going, he's the first in his family to go to school. Oh, Jesus. But Steve is he's getting paid a lot. I mean, the Hot Mics ledger is not full, and Steve has children and the whole thing, and syndicated this big show with big backers, has money. And so, look, it's a lot more money than little Bill Bush can keep up with. So I endorse it. I love him. Steve, Thank you so much for everything you did here, and always you got the link. So we've got to stay. We got to stay up to date on everything.
I think.
But talk to the people.
Well,
these are your people.
I think it's an emotional day. I think that Hot Mics is in an amazing spot. I think that everything that we look at this show, I feel like I've sweat with Billy and bled over. And I think if you go to YouTube, I'm not sure, but I may be the #1 subscriber because I created the page. So I'm probably the #1 subscriber.
Subscriber #1. Oh my God. Ground zero.
And I'll say this, today was a good representation of what Hot Mics was and what we talked about at the beginning, Billy, with Rob too, in that there were a lot of people that were frustrated when we were talking about Mandani, and today was a big show about that.
I know.
But I was thinking, and by the way, I mean, even Billy and I have discussions about things we agree with or disagree with, but I want to remind people that Hot Mics is about the mic is hot, and we talk about what we want to talk about. I mean, yesterday we aired a Sebastian Maniscalco show. Tomorrow we're going to air a wonderful show from the Capones, this Navy SEAL who's saving lives, and it's really moving
Through psychedelic therapy
through
for wounded warriors, warriors with PTSD, and the work he's doing. We have projects and things that we care about in the world.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about these things, and we went months airing Blake Lively, and we started the show today talking about the World Cup. And
she's never out of my wheelhouse, never.
Yeah, so my point is that even when I'm not here, I'm not here for sure physically, but spiritually I will be, and I just want people to remember when Billy talks about these things to hang in there and know that, like, yeah, the next story's coming, and it's all about being able to talk about all these things. And that's what excited me from the beginning and why we did this thing. So I think I'd leave with that. And maybe the next time I sign on, I will actually play those drums everyone asks about. I'll just surprise and start banging away.
It would be fantastic. Write us a new theme song, drums only.
Yeah. Everyone knows where to find me. I'm sure you can find me on social.
Steve is never far away. He is 10 minutes down the road, and always, he is a founding father of Hot Mics. So anyway, folks, we're now a third one. No. By the way, I have terminal. No, I'm kidding. We are, but we're off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the biggest thing is, forget even me leaving, you leaving. I'm going on vacation.
You're going on vacation for 2 weeks because you haven't taken any vacation, and I haven't taken vacation, and people take vacation. So we'll be on social media popping up, but Hot Mics is dark for 2 weeks. Back after the 4th of July week. So 2 weeks off, and then back at it from Maine. I love you all very much. We are still very much a family, but people have to take vacation or they go crazy. Some might think I'm actually going crazy right now. There might be a tinge of crazy. It's not true. But anyway, I love you. Rock on. Hit the fucking subscribe button if you haven't. That's it. We out. We out. Steve? We love Steve.
Let me say,
Steve's a great guy.
we are. Everybody have an amazing 4th of July.
Steve, it's got to be at least like every other week popping in, because people will not be able to live without you. You are a life source.
I mean, it's going to be hard for me to leave, so I think that could actually happen.
Ta-ta.
Me doing me, right?
Another compliment. There she is.